been through a lot of nights where you wake up with an elbow in the back. You hear, oh, you're snoring so loud tonight. So finally prompted, maybe it's time to check into it.
So what we do here at Mary Greeley Sleep Lab is we diagnose and rule out sleep disorders, really, to be simple. We do that by hooking people up to all of our wires and electrodes, put them to bed, and kind of just record and see what's going on. Things that we're looking for here in our lab is things from brain activity, which will let us know when they're asleep, what stages of sleep that they're in, whether they're breathing or not, or having any complete cessations of breathing. We're looking for the apneas, limb movements, teeth grinding, are they snoring, are they talking in their sleep. We do get occasional sleepwalkers and things like that too. So there's a lot that goes into what we're looking for. Every patient gets hooked up the same when they come in through the lab, and there's a lot. Anywhere from electrodes on the head to pick up brain activity to electrodes on the face, belts around the chest and the abdomen area, snore sensors, airflow sensors, limb movement sensors. So there's a lot that we put on a person to get that information. The only thing that we may differ from is if a person's here for a CPAP titration versus not having a CPAP, just getting a basic information type gathering study.
A CPAP stands for continuous positive airway pressure, and what it does is it blows that constant pressure to help keep the airway open. It just kind of like stints the airway open. Ideally would like is to have them sleeping with the CPAP on their back during REM, because that's when they're the most relaxed.
What we do is we start a patient off with a low pressure, of like 4 centimeters of water, get them to sleep, and then when they're asleep, usually that pressure isn't enough for most people. So yeah, if we see some consistent snoring, or if they're still having some sleep apnea, then we'll increase the air pressure, usually by 1 or 2 centimeters of water. And we just keep going up and up with the air pressure until we get to a point where there's no longer any snoring or breathing events. And we should start to see some usually better overall quality of sleep from them.
So this would be an obstructive sleep apnea.
The general perception is that snoring is associated with sleep apnea. That's a telltale sign. If you snore, you've got sleep apnea. And I was even shocked personally to find out that that's not necessarily a given. Where each of our bodies is different, and there's a lot of things going on besides just your nasal cavity and everything that happens there.
If you're feeling, not 100%, you're always talk to the doctor, let them know what your symptoms are. A lot of times the doctors are going to be the ones to kind of dictate whether they feel you need to come in and see us or not.